Welcome everybody to another episode of Four Corners Legacy Podcast. I'm your host, Valley Uno.
And I'm your host, Tusa.
I'm your host, Miss Mai, and welcome to Four Corners Legacy Podcast. We're happy to have you guys today joining us for our talk about Mother Nature.
How she's been showing her behind.
I see y'all got the imagery and everything. I didn't get the memo, so
yeah. Look at Mother Earth. Look at Mother Earth. That's the face she's making.
And this is Earth This is Earth right now. If you don't change, this is what Earth gonna be.
That's real talk. That's real talk, though.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Let me take a moment to go to my destinations and make sure everything is moving like it should be.
Yeah, it don't like me, so yeah.
Diesel is on there, but I don't see Diesel.
Thank you for those who have tapped in to be with us today. Like and share us.
What's up, man? I know we're gonna have to do that afterward, okay? Because we gotta watch your body, so you gotta chill. My bad.
we got junior co-hosts in the building, right?
Yeah, no doubt. So yeah, I go ahead and put it out there. I'm on grandpa duty today.
It's all good. That's a beautiful thing.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong.
It's a beautiful thing.
You want to come say hi?
I can't wait till I'm a grandma.
I'm gonna get you after the show, man. I got you. We're gonna get fitted afterward. He trying to pull out clothes. He ready to put something else on.
Oh man. So anybody got any current affairs before we jump into topic?
I didn't do no slide on it, but I'm sure everybody's seen it, so I think there's at least a conversation. But the craziness with Steve Harvey and his wife, all the rumors circulating, and how people saying that it ain't true at all, and this and that, like how people somebody was just trying to throw shade on Steve Harvey, I guess. I don't know. I thought that was kind of crazy.
That's what it appeared to be. Yeah, there were talks of Marjorie cheating with the bodyguard, which I felt it was hard to believe from the gate when I seen it. I was like, yeah, that there's no truth to that. But then he came out and flat out said everything good over here. But so did Wendy Williams before her and her husband broke up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So sometimes people will save face and they'll be like, oh, nothing to see over here. But really, that's just to like get people off of them and not find out until they're ready to say what's really going on.
Yeah. Well, because it at the end of the day, it ain't nobody's business. You know what I mean?
Right. It really isn't. That's their business. But if it was to be the case, she does have a track record.
Well, I mean, his back slate ain't so clean either. You know what I mean?
It sure ain't. What goes around comes around.
So I feel like
I hear y'all on that, but I think I got a slightly different viewpoint on it, and what I mean is that people do things according to where they are mentally and emotionally in life. She might have been on some dirtbag swag type shit before, but that doesn't mean that that's who she is and that's who she'll always be. And the same goes for him. You know what I mean? Like we don't know what was going on in their lives at the time that they did whatever. It would be nice to think that maybe they've both grown and matured in that regard.
I agree with you. And
rumors I think might suggest otherwise.
No, that's a fair statement, especially the part where you say we don't know where they were mentally in their lives before, because as we all know, everybody grows. Who we were moons ago may not be who we are today. So especially when it comes to in relationships with people, you learn from all those things that happen. So both of them could learn from their mistakes, and it could just be somebody hating. We know that there's a world full of haters, so that's
Yeah.
no surprise.
Yeah.
And if
And
anybody's
I ain't gonna
been
front.
getting in, he's been getting it in. He's to be hated on right now.
I was about to say, I ain't gonna front. It's a lot of fellas that probably out there would like those rumors to be true because of how Steve has, he's made a name for himself by smashing on the fellas and kind of advocating for women. So
right.
And whereas I think you can advocate without smashing on the opposite. But
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't put somebody down to get your point across.
Right. Well, some people, that's what their way is putting people down because they think that's going to help them to grow. So there are other ways to do it, but at the same time, I do think he's been gaming the young fellas in certain areas on how to just be better in relationships and how to treat women. I don't think that part is necessarily totally wrong, but the delivery is probably not the best.
Yeah, and I think shout out to the chat. Just throw that out there real quick. But yeah, I think the thing I always had with Steve is, your way is not the catalyst for relationships. If you want to do certain things in your relationship and that's the way it's structured in your house, that's cool. But to say somebody that sees it the opposite or just in a different way, period, is a fool or less of a man and he ain't grew up yet, that's where I take opposition with it.
No, that's true.
You ain't got to do all that.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's totally true.
What up, D's?
It's cracking.
Hey, what's going down?
Sorry.
The Fantastic Four.
You good? Life happens. It's
right.
I think we've all had our turn. So
yes,
right. And I think it was hard for all of us to pull it together today. Some days are better than others.
Okay, Mike Myers. Oh no, that's
Jason.
That's Jason.
Right. One of the other things, and I'm glad Dee's popped in because we were just talking about Steve Harvey, but one of the current affairs that I wanted to talk about, but not really good on details in regards to certain sports, but shout out to Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes and everything that he pulled off with that and being able to coach his sons and prove people wrong. I thought that was some newsworthy information yesterday. I was happy for him. I like prime time.
They basically got out on the field and was like, shh. Saved out when I'm vocally smashing and leaving the critics silent, homie.
Yeah, no,
I'm trying to make no joke.
Critics, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he definitely silenced them. And he said he keeps.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Got you.
Okay.
What was your take on the game yesterday? Did you get a chance to catch it, Deez?
Nah.
Yeah, I didn't see
really
it.
like sports
I seen a news article on it though, and I tapped in with that, and I thought it was a big deal, because it wasn't just that he went out there and won. It's about who he won against. The team was, championship team from the previous year. I think they were second runner up for the season or something like that. They went to the championship game. I don't know if they won. It wasn't it wasn't no Mickey Mouse team that they went out there and dusted off.
Not at all. Not at all. And the fact that his son had broke a record for the school with the passing yards, I believe.
Yeah. Made school history.
Yeah.
That's 500-something yards and 4 touchdowns. That's what I'm saying. They demonstrated the game. They didn't just beat,
I love that. I love that for him. I love that for them. I love that for them. And it'd be interesting to see how the season plays out. College ball is a big deal. Everybody loves college football. So, and he's making a name for himself. Yeah, he's making a name for himself. I'm proud of him.
I think people they don't know how to take Deion because he's confident to the edge of cockiness. Mm-hmm. But if that is what he uses as a source for his success, what you hating on him for? If
Right.
if he being confident to that degree is what has been, the foundation of all of his accomplishments, what you hating on him for? Take a page out of his book, if anything.
If anything,
You
that's
know?
that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. And you gotta believe in yourself. Don't we preach that all the time? That it's one's mindset and their thought process of their self that is such a big deal. So he, like you said, his confidence is too cocky. It's just too cocky for a lot of people. But that's how he channels his inner self to be his best and perform.
He's
at
confident.
his
He's just confident. That's all it is. And people
There's
don't like
nothing wrong with that.
confidence.
There's nothing wrong with that. He channels that confidence into taking himself to higher, his highest self. I love that for him.
Right. He sets an example with it. So, I mean, it should be all good.
Primetime used to show his behind, though, when he was on the field.
Well,
Yeah, I try to look at sports, but I don't know, man. The little bit of time I do spend on social media, it's just everybody's comments and the type of weird shit everybody be saying on there. The racist shit they be saying on there.
Yeah.
Especially that. You know what I'm saying? I can't stand that shit,
Well, I think that's kind of, let's see. Bené's comment. She said he won.
I was watching something. I don't remember exactly what I was.
She's reading something.
Well, go ahead. I think I was saying something first.
No, you weren't, but go on ahead, Maya. Go on ahead.
Know that you have a delay in your system, sis, so I'm gonna cut you some slack on that. But I was so Bené has said he won as a head coach at a white school where they said he was crazy to go. Greatness follows you no matter the situation or the hurdles, and I think that's he proved that. Yeah.
And see, that's another thing that I think he sets the example with. I know in Black culture, it's always I don't want to say always. I think we're quick to be like, oh, well, and it ain't what the blacks is doing. What you going over there for? I mean, come on, man. If this dude sees the potential for him to actually do well in his endeavors in coaching college ball, if he sees that to be good for him at this school, why is you hating on it? You know what I mean?
Right. And that's the thing.
How long are we going to be so centered on race? I mean, at some point, that can't really matter no more. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because we're all gonna have to work together for the benefit of the world. You know what I mean? Like, if for the world to be to progress, isn't that what we want to see? Everyone being able to unite and get along and going somewhere where the odds are even more stacked against you. I love that part. It's like, okay, everybody said I shouldn't go here. Some people are saying, you should go to a Black college, coach your own. But he went somewhere where the odds were even higher. The stakes is even higher. And that's going to break down that barrier, at the same time. So that's good.
And
he went where he knew he was going to have the most impact.
Exactly.
And it was probably a challenge to himself as well. Like what they say, your accomplishments add to your confidence. So he probably could have went and won somewhere else with ease, without any challenge to his own abilities. You know what I mean? Without any external challenges from the organization or whatever. But it might have been more of a challenge to him personally, and that's why he took it on. We don't know the reasons, you know what I mean? Well, I don't know the reasons because I don't on it, but I know for sure that they dusted some ass yesterday. They was out there laying hat to them boys, and it made a statement.
Yeah, so that was good. I thought it was dope.
Well, Beyonce was in Cali.
Excuse me 1 minute.
Yes, she was.
Fuck Beyonce.
I was like, didn't we cover Beyonce's concert 2 weeks ago?
Well, my daughter went to it. That's why. My middle baby.
All of your kids have went to the concert. Kai went, Kiana went, and Kaylani Kaylani was there last night, I want to say. Yeah.
She was? See, I haven't talked to my baby in a couple of days.
So I'm curious. Right? So in comparison, let's say to like Nipsey and his community work, what's Beyonce doing on that level?
Nothing.
Well, I don't think it's behind the scenes. I don't understand that part of it because I don't want to say that she's not doing anything. I want to believe that since she is one of the highest paid artists or the highest paid artist performing out there, that she should be doing more. But maybe she's doing it and it's not being talked about. So not everybody, but why not talk about it if you are?
It would be being talked about if she was doing it.
Right. So I mean, I don't know. That's a good question.
Because if she sneezes, they're gonna have a press conference.
Well, the thing about it is they're very private. Her and Jay-Z are very private. I don't think that they're, other than stuff regarding their shows, the performances that she has or the concerts, we don't really see them in the news very much about their personal life.
I'm just
if they were funding something that was good for the community or for people, it would be expressed.
Right.
Well, Jigga Man just recently got an attorney for the boy that got arrested for mistaken identity in the restaurant. I can't remember what state it was in, but he got arrested for mistaken identity while he had his baby, and the police kind of brutalized him while he had his baby in his arms. And come to find out, it was the wrong man to begin with. And they still
knows that's millions. It's millions involved in representing that case. Whoever the lawyer is that dude is clearly going to get millions of dollars.
Yeah, because it was like I said, mistaken identity, and they still charged him. So he's got charges on him when he was never even the guy they was looking for. And they went in on him. They was punching him and everything, and he had his baby like right here in his chest. You know what I mean?
I recall hearing something about that story too. I'm glad to hear
we got attorneys for old boy so he could fight that case. You know?
Yeah. No, that is good. I did read something else.
So he got charged with the mistaken crime anyway.
No. That it was some, you know how they do, resisting, obstruction, you know, those little don't say no to the police.
You're supposed to obstruct the justice if you ain't the motherfucker.
Yeah, right. Because you are within your legal right to resist an unlawful arrest.
Right.
So, but you know,
boy, that shit wild. I seen a video long before it blew up to where they're talking about it now, because I seen it before it got to the point where it's at now. But yeah, you know, I don't know. It'll never stop. I just think that people are downplaying the level of the lack of respect that our society has for Black men. I think people are definitely underestimating that.
Yeah,
I was watching this thing with Chadwick Boseman, an old interview he had did with this guy on Channel 6, and that's what he was talking about, that in how in the industry they will have a star Black actor, but they can't have multiple star Black actors all together. You know, they always have to put them against each other and play them on each other. And you know, they could have something that has 5 white all stars in one film, but
Ocean's 11 and shit like that.
Yeah, but you'll never see a movie that has all Black men who are stars together, because they don't want to put no status, no good status on that level.
I'm gonna put this up here because we had a question in the chat from Benet. Again, shout out to the chat, everybody that's tapped in.
Hey, everybody.
Hey,
this was in relation to what we were talking about, you know, about Beyonce and whoever else, you know, doing stuff for the community. So our question is, there are people who would say or argue, why are we obligated to give to the community? What you give will never be enough. What are our thoughts?
Can I go first?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so my thoughts are, Beyonce wouldn't have the money or the power she had if it wasn't for her fan base and the community. So when someone makes you filthy rich, worth $800 million because they're going to buy your music and selling out your shows constantly, you kind of do have somewhat of an obligation to these people. You get what I'm saying? You can't say you don't have any obligation, because if these people didn't give a fuck, if everybody said fuck Beyonce tomorrow, her show wouldn't have one motherfucking stand. You get what I'm saying? So these people do matter, and how and their opinions do matter. So it's like if these people are the ones backing your play and keeping you relevant to where you can have your brand succeed at the level it's succeeding, you know what I'm saying? What's wrong with, because I'm pretty sure all the women in the most of the women, in a large percentage of the women in the concert, probably single moms, going home, broken homes, renting somewhere, credit bad, driving a bucket up, you know, or whatever. I'm pretty sure time coming from bad communities or whatever, crime-ridden communities and all that shit, and they escape into that venue, you know. I don't know.
I think that you're right. I think you're right that she does. There is a sense of obligation, and sometimes you have to actually get out there and do the footwork. I feel like even if she's behind the scenes, because I don't know what foundation she contributes to or what she works, but I want to see her out there, you know, in the field one time, you know, giving away some turkeys on Thanksgiving or doing something. I don't know, but just where I actually see her out there with normal people surrounding her, signing some autographs, doing something where we see her interacting with the very fans that are paying all this money for her concerts. And these people are, let's be clear, they're dressing like her. They're going to the 10th power when they're attending these concerts. So the beehive is real. It's thick and everybody loves her. I mean, so come on. Yeah, there is an obligation.
Yes, she needs to have a beehive foundation. Help get some kids in college.
Even Oprah did community work.
Yes. Which I was gonna tackle her next, because
my take on it is this here. And I just removed the question so I could be seen while I was talking. But my take on it is this here. I don't think that anybody's obligated, but I do think that I don't know. I think that should be the aim of any individual, regardless of their status, is to aid in the betterment of mankind, you know, heal the world, make it a better place, what they be saying. We all got some contribution to give. So if your storehouse or your surplus is larger than somebody else's, that shouldn't remove you from the urge or the desire from within yourself to give to something, because people are giving back on small levels that ain't got nothing but a 9 to 5. They give something. So why is it if you get more money that suddenly that sense of responsibility should just leave you as a person?
I got to tap on this because I think that goes into what you're saying, is getting people through a hard time and even exchange. And I guess what he means by that is saying, like, you know, if her music carries somebody through a hard time, you know, is that an even exchange? Is that enough? Like if somebody was listening to Lemonade, okay, and they were going through a horrible breakup or have been cheated on or whatever, and her music helped to inspire them or help them to not give up, is that an even exchange?
Absolutely not. And I'll say, no, and I don't want to seem like an asshole. I'll tell you why I say no. Because if you give a man a fish, you can feed him for a day. But if you teach him how to fish, you'll feed him for a lifetime. So if all you're doing is getting somebody through this hard time, so they have to purchase your music to get through the next hard time, then you're not really doing them a justice. You see what I mean? If you can teach people how to avoid those hard times, you understand what I'm saying? That's when it's an even exchange. But if I'm just, oh, you hungry? I'm gonna feed you for right now. But when you get hungry again, you got to come back and see me. Or I could teach you how to satisfy your own hunger. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, it's the same principle. I could get you through this hard time, or I could teach you how to avoid them through whatever community-based programs I implemented. So I don't think it's an even exchange. Yeah.
Yeah. Just putting a little bit of time into some of these young girls' lives probably would make a big difference on the next venture of their lives. You know, dancing around is not your only life that they could do.
Dancing around and shaking your asses. Goddamn girl.
All the gyrating, right? No, but I think music does teach lessons too. But like you said, it is that enough? I don't know, but I know that
It's
there
still
has
not an even exchange.
right. It's not an even exchange, but I think that there has been certain like Mary J. Blige's breakthrough album. Love it. Helped me through some hard times. Like I feel like music does teach lessons and it helps to strengthen us through certain situations, and it provides us opportunity to look at scenarios like this isn't just me. This happened to somebody else. So I
But see, but even Mary, she has a podcast, and she's trying to put herself out there to maybe help somebody else on another level. Beyonce's not doing that. She's not doing that.
What she is or isn't doing because she ain't even really on my radar, other than the fact that
we would know it. Like Diesel, like Diesel said, if the bitch sneezes, they got a press concert about shit.
I can't argue with that.
I mean, but I don't see her at no press con. I don't see. She doesn't. She makes the news for her concerts, for her ticket prices, for things like that. But I don't see any like pictures of her and Jay traveling. I don't see her personal life hit the news. You know that part.
Okay, but one time, I don't know whose idea it was, hers or Jay-Z's. They went and jumped in one of their Rolls Royces or whatever and tried to go drive through New York, and it was like
pandemonium.
Stopped. Like they just sitting there in the car, basically, like surrounded by motherfuckers. Couldn't drive a smidgen of an inch. You get what I'm saying? They're past that level of fame. You know what I'm saying? To where they could actually go out and I feel like MJ way more relevant than
I love Mary
Beyonce.
beyond.
I think so too.
So
and she's still more relevant.
So I thought she was talking about Michael Jackson. and I didn't think she was talking about relevance.
Okay.
Because I thought about Michael Jackson when y'all were talking about it would be nice to see her around common people. The first thing I thought about was Michael Jackson because he hid his whole damn career.
But he did shit though.
MJ is Michael Jackson
with that. All right, check it out. I'm gonna give you one example. Let me give you one example. The Beat It video. All those niggas in the video, they were hood niggas, real gang members from Los Angeles, Crips and Bloods.
I understand that, but we have to do a apples to apples comparison. So that was early on in his solo career. So in order for it to be comparable, we have to go back to the "Can You Pay My Bills" version of Beyonce and say, was she around normal people then? And the answer would be yes.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like you got to do an apples to apples comparison in order for that to be real. We can't. But when MJ was at the point in his career that she's in now, that nigga was a ghost. Some people see him, some people don't.
I don't think he might have been as popular as her, but she's had the internet, so I think that
I think he's way more popular than her.
Absolutely. He's got her beat by a country mile as far as popularity.
Right. I think that she's global, but I think that he was
motherfucking Jackson.
Yeah, but it's in the same sentence, it's negativity with him. He doesn't really.
Michael Jackson ain't walking through the mall or CV Circle. Okay.
Yeah, no.
He's infamous and famous at the same time.
I hear you on that, and I can't argue that. I can't argue that at all.
Beyonce doesn't have the infamy part.
She got some infamy. She had a whole snatch out in the concert.
Man,
She got some infamy.
listen. Hey,
it's
and that's
just
what I'm saying.
different because of the genders. Because
Right.
let Prince, okay, let Cameo, anybody from that era who wore like some crazy shit. Let Day Johnson had accidentally slipped out on stage. It would not have been laughed away like it was with her.
It'd have been the end of their career.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Hey, for the record, I want to say that I'm not walking through CV Circle. No, I'm just kidding.
oh shit.
But Michael even he gave to children's hospitals. He helped kids. Even though they put that jacket on Michael, he still did stuff for
did. As far as charity work goes, he was big on that.
Yeah. And that's why I said I don't know what Beyonce's doing or not doing. So I'm not going to speak too heavily on that because I just don't know. Like I said,
right.
if it wasn't
Me neither.
other people bringing her up, I wouldn't. She's not on my radar. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think she's the greatest musician.
I agree with what she just said. When she said
R&B to ever come along, she just don't rank like that for me musically. You know?
She says, "What is that? Really her kitty that got exposed?" I don't think it was.
Well, whose was it?
Okay, if I Google that on my phone, if I Google any other pussy popped out on my phone, I'm gonna really find out if it was the pussy or not through photography expertise.
I know, but here's the thing: Jay-Z's a Freemason. He's linked in. They got to take it out. They got to take it off.
I'm just saying. If you Google Paris Hilton, what's the other one? That
ain't none of them married to a Freemason.
If you Google any of them upskirts, you gonna see what really happened.
Jigga Man was like, "No, we can't have that."
Well, what I didn't like about it, her concert, was her illustrations and how her illustrations show the certain poses and stuff. Show
You got that shit way loud.
The demonic part of the Illuminati that they say. If you guys seen how her show opens, the visualizations that from her show openings, I didn't like that.
I'd have to see it because I know that in the world that we live in, unfortunately, things that we're unfamiliar with, if it has been deemed to be devilish or demonic by the society prior to us, we kind of just take it at face value. But if you do some research on it, it may not necessarily be that. So I'd have to see it. There could be some esoteric meaning to this shit that doesn't necessarily mean that it's demonic. I'd have to see what it was. Or I
have to see it with you.
Demonic, because I don't even know. I can't even say that. What the fuck is demonic? Like, because in order to say demonic, that means we got to say demon. And if we saying demon, that means we got to say angel. If we say angel, we got to say God and Jesus and everything else. And I can't put my stamp on none of that. So, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle about that.
Well, that's enough of that, bitch. Back, get to the matter at hand.
Right. Yeah, I was bored too.
Kevin, that's enough. God damn it.
And I brought her up. But
right.
Enough of her shit. Yeah.
So the nigga Steve Harvey is telling everybody that it's a fake, that the shit with Marjorie is fake.
Oh, shit. That's right. You wasn't in here when we talked about that.
Yeah,
okay.
We talked about
What's
that.
your take on that? What's your take on that? Why that part of the conversation didn't go all the way up because you wasn't here.
Right. My take on that is where there's fire, there's smoke. You know what I'm saying? I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire. So there's no doubt I've already spoken on Steve Harvey. You know me, y'all know me, y'all my siblings. Steve Harvey been full of shit. And Marjorie don't love him the way he loved her. And for all we know, he might not love her the way he say he love her. Or whatever the hell. But bottom line is, she known for getting niggas. He just another nigga on the hit list and all that. We gonna use all the popular lyrics for that shit. That's how she feel about him.
Yeah, that
He's
nigga.
just another nigga on the hit list.
Trying to fix his inner issues with a bad
The
bitch.
bad bitch.
That nigga
Y'all
just
are
another
sick.
nigga on the hit
I
list.
love my siblings.
Oh shit.
Okay, well, y'all, let's tap into this right now. What is going on with Mother Nature? Okay, because she is showing her ass right now,
Yeah,
and she
things
has
are
reason
out
to.
balance for sure.
And she has reason to.
I pray
We
a meteor
ain't
hits
had
this
a real
motherfucker.
heat wave in Sacramento in the past 2 years, and being a Sacramento native, that is some extremely odd shit. That ain't you. That's not to be sneezed at. That
So there was a heat wave this year, though, right?
I mean, a couple of days, but I'm talking about that shit we used to get growing up, where
Right.
it's finna be triple digits for the next 11 days. We ain't seen none of that shit in years out here. What's
Right.
going on?
It's been decades, probably.
You know, it's we're having summer rains and shit. What's going
Yeah.
on?
We haven't had summer rains in years.
I'll be glad when I just pray that a meteor hit this motherfucker.
Well, you know, civilizations it has been taken out and it starts over again. Has started, they say 5 times already. This is going to be the 6th time, or 4 times already. This is going to be the 5th time, and it's inevitable. It's going to happen because man doesn't respect the earth. It has,
When the meteor's coming, I'm gonna be standing here just like this.
Hey, it damn sure ain't no sense in running.
I'm gonna be watching all these motherfuckers. I'm gonna be watching all these delusional motherfuckers pull out their phone. They gonna pull out their phone and think they gonna post that shit on Facebook the next day. You motherfuckers gonna pull out their phones and literally think they about to post it the next day. You're about to be dead, dumb motherfuckers.
We're all gonna be gone.
You ain't even gonna have time to take a sip out of that Henny bottle. You know what I'm saying?
You better don't look up.
Here we are again.
When you blink, you'll be gone.
Same cop.
And you know that
you remember Nutty Professor when he was supposed to save the meteor from hitting the earth? Oh, it's just gonna be little
it's just gonna make a little splash in the. Oh, that ain't little at all.
Well, I would like to jump into the various different things because Mother Nature is it's a lot to it. So let's try to break all of that down about what is going on. Let's talk about the global warming side of it. Let's talk about how that is affecting the earth and what it's doing to us.
Well, once we ruin the ozone layer, we're gonna lose our protection from the cosmic elements, you know. And I think that has a lot to do with what's going on, is because the I guess you call it the firmament or something like that. You know that we're ruining that basically. That's our layer of protection from outer space that gives us clean air and air to breathe, and the rotation of the moon and all that stuff keeps our tides and stuff in check. And
it's the biodiversity is what it is, and it's declining at a rapid rate. The ice caps are melting, which is what cools the earth. You know, when the sun reflects down, the ice caps help to cool the earth, and they're not even able to cool the earth because the ocean waters are warm right now, and they're melting at a rapid rate.
So it melted so bad that polar bears have begun to mix with brown bears.
And that's a sad shame.
Well, and it has to do, all of that is exactly right. So climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperature and weather patterns. These shifts may be natural, but since 1800s, human activities have been the main driver of climate change, primarily due to the burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas, which produces heat-trapping gases. So
It's
that's
called the green. Yes, it's called the greenhouse effect. And it's 5 essential greenhouse gases that are causing these problems. And there are carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, methane. I don't know how to say this other one, chlorofluorocarbons, and then the water vapors. But the most is the methane gases, and fossil fuel is what's heating the earth at rapid rates. I mean, if it continues like this, no telling what's going to end up.
right. So
I love you guys, but the world disgusts me. So I think we got it coming, if you ask me.
well, we are definitely part of the cause of what's going on. This is Mother Nature used to be referred to as just natural events that took place, but because of things that we are doing, like with the gases and stuff, we are causing it to happen faster. We are ruining actually the planet. We're ruining.
Well, the rainforests, and there's not just the rainforest in Brazil. There's rainforests in I want to say Taiwan or it's a few rainforests. Anyway, majority of the rainforest, it's down to like 20% of the rainforests are left in the world. And the rainforest is what eats up the carbons that all this stuff puts out into the air. That actually it emits oxygen back out, and that's what was saving us. Now that the trees are gone, there's nothing that's built. It's eating the carbons, and
they're tearing up the rainforest so they can build resorts for people to go sit up and kick their feet up on and shit.
No, they're building they're tearing down the rainforest for soy plants, livestock, and the palm oil. So many like in Brazil, they cut down more than half of the rainforest to have these palm trees to make palm oil. You'll see one is cut off in like a half. One side's rainforest, the other side's for miles and miles and miles of palm trees for palm oil.
You can't be mad at people for doing what they got to do, though. It ain't no different than somebody that's selling dope. You know what I mean? Like, we live in a world that's centered around money and greed and finances. And if a person has to choose in between providing themselves and giving a damn about this tree, if I'm that person, goodbye, R.I.P. tree.
Hey, and not just that, it's the consumers are to blame as well, because people choose to consume products, like there is no production process that takes place for these products to exist. You know what I'm saying? So you at some point you have to look at the consumer, because if they know, if like ostrich seats and all that shit.
It's like,
look at one video. Just look at one ostrich farm where they kill it. They basically birthing these ostriches somehow, and then they just plucking all their feathers out and chopping their motherfucking heads off and turning them into seats and bats. By the thousands, tens of thousands, or hundreds of thousands of these motherfuckers. Their only purpose is to become seats and bats and shoes and shit.
So what about this? What about if it's really just the natural order of things that we've seen in other places, but just taking place on a grander scale? For instance, we know that there's places just here in this country where it used to be, where it used to be an actual naturally occurring lake, and now it's a dry lake bed. You got Salt Lake City, for instance. That used to be a lake. You think about the Nile Valley where Egypt is at. Thousands of years ago, that was not a barren desert, but it was actually, a lush, water-rich type landscape. What caused it to happen?
And yes, that's so.
We see that this is a part of the natural order of things on a smaller scale. Could it just be that natural order expanding to a larger scale. You see what I mean? I mean, I just think that's one possibility.
That happened over a long course of time, over a millions of years. What we're doing to Earth, we have done in 200 years. Okay, 200 years.
What happened in the years? What are we talking about?
To where, how you said,
in Egypt, how it dried up. She's saying
it was over thousands of years. It wasn't
right. That's that's the correction. The correction is thousands of years. But what she's saying now is that we're speeding up the process of things, the damages that are being done. Those things might have naturally took place over time, but we are speeding up the damages.
We're probably contributing to it. I can't argue that, but I'm saying, like, is it inevitable?
When they look down from space and they see Earth, when they look down from Earth look down at Earth, they see everything is just lit up. It's just lit up. It's heated up. You don't see the ice caps like you used to. I mean, you would see them from space. It's not like that anymore. It's melting and it's heating up, and there's nothing we can do about it if we don't stop the emissions of greenhouse gases, and that's not going to stop because of the almighty dollar.
Okay, no, I hear you on that, and I think that's partly, I guess that's part of why I asked what I asked. Is it inevitable? Because we know that the way this system is structured around money, that's not going to change tomorrow or 500 years from now.
It is inevitable.
There would have to be a paradigm shift in thinking, which is usually brought on by some sort of cataclysmic shit. So I don't see a change coming unless it's forced, unless the hand is forced. Like the picture in your background. You see what I mean? Like, yeah, I just don't see it coming. People ain't gonna bring about the change.
No. Well, the whole thing is one way to start the change is we have to start being the cannibals that we are. People are the predator. We're the predators now, not the animals. The animals used to be the predators. We're the predators now. We breed livestock to kill them. Okay, and they're one of the main causes of methane is the livestock.
How so?
They shit.
Yeah.
So you're saying that's a source of methane that we need, but is being depleted?
No, it's not needed. It's brought about in abundance because they have cut down where it used to be trees is now livestock. And
I get what you're saying. Okay.
And without the trees is what absorbs the carbons, and then from that it emits out oxygen, which what we need. And at that point, it was cooling. It was giving the earth a chance to cool.
I think that rendering plant that I got to pass going to my job, I think if we burning a hole in the ozone layer, it's gonna start right there. Because that shit, boy.
Mother Nature is a trip. Those are everywhere, though. That's what they're saying. That's not just something that's going on here. That's going on. Imagine that's going on in 50 states.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
1,000%. Okay.
Right.
In the 80s or something like that, Chernobyl exploded and blew all these radioactive gases into the earth, and the whole city was deserted. Okay. Now at 2020,
it's teeming with life there, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Now in 2023, it has bounced back and is full of plants and animals living.
Wild horses, 8 feet. They got 8 feet catfish there. They got they're all radioactive though.
But the fact of the matter is Mother Nature can rebuild itself if we give it a chance. We can't just keep tearing her down and tearing her down and tearing her down. Otherwise,
say then that all the building blocks for life in its various forms come straight out of the earth. If that happened from,
But
which
we're not as
you know anybody
resilient
caused that?
as wildlife, though. We're not going to be able to bounce back the way the wildlife did in Chernobyl
No.
because
What
we
happened
can't
in Chernobyl? That's what I'm asking.
a,
Was it a
a
volcano?
nuclear meltdown.
Oh, okay.
So
Which is still
basically,
radioactive to this day, but
that's what I'm
nature
saying.
has
We couldn't live it. We can't live and survive in Chernobyl. The animals can, but we can't go live in that motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm
Right.
saying.
Well, that's what I was gonna say too. That was one of the things that I was reading, and I'm big on reading, so I get the facts correct when I say stuff. The severity of the effects caused by climate change will depend on the path and future of human activities. The scientific evidence is unequivocal. Climate change is a threat to human well-being and the health of our planet. Any further delay concentrated in global action will miss the brief, rapidly closing window to secure a livable future. Meaning, if things continue at the pace that they're on, we won't be able to live here.
I agree with you on that. And I think it ties into this question that's in the comments that I want to highlight, because I think you kind of answered it already with what you were saying. So it says, didn't we kill animals to eat and wear their skin for survival, or changes in season to keep warm? Are we not doing the same now, but it's just for a new commercial purpose? And I think really the answer is in the question. It was for survival.
Right.
So there's a difference when
It's for greed.
We can say, in order for us to continue to exist and give to the planet what we give to it, because everything has a role, you know what I mean? If we're able to exist and play our role in the natural ecosystem of the planet, for lack of a better term, and we have to snuff out a few animals in the process, that makes sense. But if we're existing just fine, and we just, so I can say, hey man, I got this, then I spent $400 on this just to be like, nigga, you ain't up on it. If we doing it for that reason, where's the justification? You see what I mean? Because
And
you have to understand that those animals play a role in the natural ecosystem of the planet. So what is the justification for taking away from that?
Or building fake animals, you know what I mean? Or building fake animals.
Right,
We're talking about the thing. These were animals back in the day, and what she's speaking of, and we used to eat and wear their skin. It was the natural circle of life taking place at that point. This is not natural what they have going on anymore.
Well, by 1997, 46% of the largest predators in the ocean have been depleted. And without the predators in the ocean to eat other fish and vegetation or whatever in the ocean, it doesn't allow the plankton to live, which the plankton is what feeds everything. If anybody, I mean, the plankton is the smallest thing in earth, but you can see plankton from the space because that's what produces everything in the ocean. And without that, then the ocean doesn't survive. The coral is dying. The fish are dying. And it all, like you said before, it's all a cycle.
It's stemming from the warmer waters. Okay.
Yes.
So the warmer ocean waters supercharge weather patterns to create more powerful storms, hurricanes, and intense rainfall, which leads to deadly flooding, etc. The warming oceans also bleach coral reefs, which provide valuable habitat and threaten sea life and fish population. Those warming waters are also melting Arctic and Antarctica ice shelves, which are already adding to the sea level rise. So that's some of the ways that it's impacting us. And I got a whole bunch more, but I don't want to read the whole thing, but you're exactly right. All of it is connected.
I follow this.
What if it's happening backwards?
What do you mean?
Never mind, I'm crazy. I'll be on some other shit.
No, but you might be right though. You never know.
I'm like, what if that process is actually taking place backwards? Because it's on some governmental shit, you know everybody can't go to Antarctica. To keep your ass away from around here so you don't see what we doing. What if they the motherfuckers over there melting the Arctic wall because they trying to get to the shit that you know that has been rumored to have crashed there many moons ago?
Well, it's not crashed there. It was what was built there.
Okay, I'm saying though, what if none of this shit is happening because of the reasons that are being highlighted, and it's really just a distraction to keep us focused on this?
It probably is happening that way because that they're trying to get into that pyramid over there for sure, and it's one of the biggest facilities on the planet. As far as like, there's rooms that are like the size of like airplane hangars and shit like that.
Well, there was areas where they could not have begin to think about getting to because it was frozen beyond frozen that are now not there.
Right. And so in the process,
that further
attempting to melt that, it's like, oh shit, we got it too hot. Now the rest of the world getting hot, you know.
Shit, we never know. They clone Tyrone, okay?
Yeah, because contrary to what Tavon was saying about Sacramento's weather and all that stuff, actually worldwide, these are the hottest times worldwide.
Absolutely.
Planet-wide.
Joshua Hill said, so do you think the planet is dying or converting to a new phase? And I think it kind of coincides with even what Benet was saying, aren't we fulfilling the prophecy of Revelations? I think that is true. All of that is true. Like it is converting to a different phase.
Yeah, we're gonna be wearing spacesuits. We're gonna be wearing spacesuits.
You know what I mean?
My picture behind me says it all. One side, this side, green. Tomorrow, it's gonna be this.
Yeah. Before we get too deep into the Mother Nature topic, I did want to drop a shout out because I'll fuck around and forget. Y'all know the boy Lawan Woon Terrell. He be doing the children's books and whatnot. He got a couple of them out. Go out and play. Other one, Super Different Me, and he's got another one coming out. We wasn't able to get the cover for it, but I believe it's called, correct me if I'm wrong, Woon, What is Mother Nature Naturing or something like that. It's something along the, but I felt like it went right along with the topic. So if y'all don't know about it, go check him out. You can get the books on Amazon, anywhere else you can get the books at. It's
right. I think he's in the process.
Good job.
I think he's in the process.
You guys make a big, wait a minute, I'm gonna say something right now to you motherfuckers. You guys make a big deal about that shit, but if you ever watch,
no.
You think you could do this shit to me?
You goddamn right. If you ever watch Dish Nation, do you ever watch that show? And there's a whole panel of people on there. They might say something while the other person's saying something. They don't make a big goddamn deal about the shit. Quit making a big deal about the shit.
That's because the show that you're watching is edited, not live.
They still cutting off each other and saying stuff while somebody else is saying something.
You're missing his point.
And it's been beautifully edited to where it doesn't look bad.
Right, because the way we got it. Hold on, listen. The way we got it set up. If there's crosstalk, then it makes it difficult for the audience to be able to hear what's being said. That's what it's about. It's not about us being in our feelings like, oh, I was talking and you stopped me. It's that, no, we want everybody to be able to hear the points that we're making. So,
nigga.
Yeah. And if a nigga, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, gosh. Woo, child.
Too late.
Anyways, yes, I was gonna say though, I think that the book that you were talking about, his most recent book, I think he's in the process of either working on, so I'm not sure that it is actually out yet. But yes, it is connected.
Who the hell told you to go eat? Who told you to eat during the podcast?
Yeah, what the hell you think this is? Food champs? Slap champs?
Hey.
Look, she's eating away that aggression she has. You like,
Right,
oh,
right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
She's emotional eating. These niggas
I
that
eat
pissed me
'cause I'm
off. Where these
fat,
ice
'cause
cream
I'm fat, 'cause
sandwiches
I'm fat.
Y'all crazy.
These niggas that pissed me off. Where the fuck these ice cream sandwiches go?
Oh, man, okay.
Reel it back in, y'all. Reel it back in.
Oh shit. But yeah, though, I don't know. Because I just have a scrutinizing eye about everything. And I'm not saying that I automatically discredit the shit that, you know, we hear in the news outlets about what's going on with the planet and this, that, and the other. I just take everything and I try to do my own analysis of it. And if it makes sense, it makes sense. If it don't, then I'm gonna keep looking into that. Or I might even just be like, shit, it don't matter what happened, you know, I'm gonna be right here when it happens. So let me just keep doing what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like how Dee said, here come the media, you know.
Right.
And I get how you say that.
Right.
It's like,
who gives a shit? You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know, that's why in humanity it's important to make your mark, because life is not promised, and there's really only one way to solidify your legacy, and that's to leave something behind while you're here. You know what I'm saying? Because death is for certain, and now in our society, you can tell motherfuckers don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers is delusional as a motherfucker. They think we gonna live forever, or they gonna find a way to make us immortal, or they gonna, you know, motherfuckers ain't understanding what's happening.
yeah. No, you're right. You got to leave your mark. You know, build a legacy, make the time that you're here last. Because we can't figure it all out. We
We'll
know that there's
always talk about Henry Ford. We will always talk about Thomas Edison. We will always talk about Tesla. We will always talk about, you know what I'm saying, people who invented things and changed the world as we know it. That's how you make your mark in this world. You know what I'm saying? All that other shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I don't know, not so much.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
We
Nigga,
ain't
you got
fucking
the
with
flow,
you.
nigga.
Say something.
Those people making marks ain't black either. The blacks that are making marks aren't being publicized. We got to publicize. We got to congratulate
I'm
them.
gonna tell you, y'all not gonna like what I'm about to say, but I'm gonna say it.
Hold on. Because I want to know where she was going with that. What are you saying?
We have to put it out there of people who have accomplished things and who have made a mark. You know, we have to glorify our greatness, because we can't leave it up to somebody else to glorify our greatness.
Okay, I got you.
Okay, now I can go to what I was gonna say. It's never gonna happen as long as niggas ain't shit. Meaning that, you know, it's one thing for the government or for white society to be like, all them blacks are fucking raccoons and baboons and they don't know how to act and they're wild monkeys swinging from fucking vines and shit, whatever. You get what I'm saying? It's one thing for them to label us that way, but once we get to the point where we labeling ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like at this point in the black experience, the black woman has become the KKK and has discredited the black man on all levels. Billionaires can't even find a loyal bitch. Upstanding motherfucker that don't cheat. Like, there's no way for a black man to be accepted amongst his own.
I definitely agree that that's a challenging thing, you know, but I see the importance of what you're saying, though. I just think that where we sit at now, it's challenging for us as
Both
blacks
sides.
to expect for blacks to herald us for our accomplishments, you know. because that's, you know, why we know about the Henry Fords and the Nikola Teslas and all these people, because it was their folks putting that information on the spotlight. So I get what you're saying, but you know, on the same token, I also think with the age of the internet, we don't really have to rely solely on people other than ourselves.
You could be the source that brings
you know,
it up.
Available for people to observe.
I just got poisoned on the podcast.
What?
If I die, she poisoned me.
Ethylene glycol.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's like I said, it has to start within us. Because I mean, if you was to put a page that was simply the greatness of blacks, and you went and researched motherfuckers that made an impact, and you put that out there, that especially on Facebook, because it would have thousands of followers. If you made it as a group, it would have thousands of followers, and you would be able to reach thousands of people with that message right off top.
That was one of my titles for us to do.
I'm just like toxic for online, because I'll tell people to shut their cock washers and eat the ass out of a dead horse, and you know, like I don't give a fuck about the internet.
Stop their cock washers.
Oh no!
Oh, where did you come up with this shit?
Okay, look,
man. I'm not that nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm off the Richter scale, off the chain. Like online cannot handle me. I'm a community standard nightmare. You know what I'm saying?
So Benet says
Cock
we have
washers.
to start doing what we have a skill to do, because most of these inventions come from us. We lost our mind because we let them distract our mind. She put the correction in the comments, so she meant to say distract our minds. And correct. I think that ties in with what we're talking about, because like Deez was saying earlier about people needing to make their mark, leave some sort of tangible legacy behind. Even something as simple as what we're talking about. And not to say that it's not an important subject, because it has its measure of importance, but not to let it be just another on a long list of distractions. Okay, if the world is going to end as we know it, and it's all going to be reshaped and terraformed or whatever the fuck, let that be the fire underneath our seat, so we can get busy at leaving our mark before all that shit happened. Well, you know, before the new world came, it was this one motherfucker, man. Is that going to be me? Or is it just going to be Henry Ford? You know?
like family life, for instance. To our community and the black community, family life is considered boring. Being at the club and shaking your ass and running the streets is what we think is a good time. Throwing a frisbee to our son and teaching our son how to play frisbee, or learn how to do backflips, or you know, just look at our programming that we have on TV. If you go onto the BET program, you know what I'm saying, everything has to have this scandalousness and this negativity and this treachery and this evilness and dark side to it. Everything our people are like, and that it has to be shown that we are normal. I'm not a square. If I fucking say, you know what, man, I want to wear some Skechers. Should no nigga be filming my feet on a camera talking about what the fuck is those?
Yeah. And if he does, he should also be ready to fight.
Right. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. I was wearing Skechers, but I beat your ass like I was wearing Jordans. I was wearing Skechers, but I beat your ass like I was wearing motherfucking Louis Vuitton.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference?
I'll beat your ass in some flip-flops.
Right.
Yeah, so this comment right here, I think it's kind of what we talking about. We give our power willingly. So we're talking about the distractions and the shit that's important to us and this, that, and the other. And of course, when we say us, we're not talking about us. but in general,
Right.
And I think this is a accurate statement. Black folks in general give their power willingly to things that do not build up. You understand what I'm saying? So
Right.
It's wasted energy.
yeah. It's kind of hard to it's kind of hard to overcome that on a grand scale. It's got to start on an individual basis, and then those individuals come together with like minds, and that becomes a collective, and that can grow outward from there. It's almost like a rebranding, motherfucker.
Like
We're rebranding black.
Right.
Unquote,
Why
Why
don't blacks want to go out and work hard for a living? Where did that?
Because they're not a part of the
from?
new brand. Fuck them. They're not a part of the rebrand.
But we have to pay attention to this, because I can't even go to the ATM without some bitch ass motherfucker come up and shoot me in the back 9 times to take my goddamn money.
Oh shit.
So we can't ignore the shit, because every time you turn on a TV or news podcast or whatever, you hear about this month they killed Gilly's son. That was a robbery or some shit. You know what I'm saying? That's because niggas wanted what he had. That's some lame ass bullshit. In our community, it's like we promote that shit. We act like that's good shit. Oh, I needed the bag so bad. I bet you whatever they took from him, they don't have it now.
It's a sad shame, and Diesel is right. It's all about the bag, and however you can get it. If you kill somebody, if you hurt somebody, if you take from your mama, your family, whoever, long as you getting the money, that don't have shit to show for it once they get it.
Right, unacceptable. They killed XXXTentacion for 50 grand. They showed the 50 grand on Instagram, social media, holding up the money, the stacks of money they killed him for. Now all the money gone, and all of them in jail. Plus the 20-year-old black man lost his life for going out and trying to buy a motorcycle one day.
That's just crazy. It is crazy. We
so can we do some alchemy on the planet? I didn't mean to cut you off, my bad. But
no, that's actually good. I'm glad you're going into that comment, because those two comments I think are true.
Because I seen this one here. We are the original alchemists. We must remember who we are. And I ain't too deep on alchemy, but I do understand that it has something to do with the study of converting raw material into other materials of value, resource material. So something along them lines. Can we do some alchemy on the planet? This one right here also, redefine what our value is. And I think by doing that, that's going along with what Deez was saying, and also
that's a big deal right there. Redefining our value.
If that's what's of value to you, then our skin color does not make us kin. It does not make us. We don't have the same ethnicity, because my ethnicity is the tie that binds me to the people of my ethnicity is what's going on up in here and in here. The mental and spiritual values that we possess. So it don't matter that you got a similar skin tone, motherfucker. You ain't my peeps.
Yeah. And you would have to, at this point, you have to look at African Americans in particular, not just Africans and blacks of other descent that come from all around the world. You have to stare directly at African Americans at this point and wonder, okay, was this the way they bred us that made us this way? Did that have something to do how we are mentally? You get what I'm saying? Like, why are we the most lawless people on the planet? Well, in the United States. I was a
little distracted. Is what caused us to be bred this way? I missed it. My bad.
No. I said, is the breeding what caused us to be the way we are? The slave breeding and all that shit.
To me, it started with the fact that we have no identification. We
have an identification. We here right now. If we say what we are, we that.
But maybe identification wasn't the word that I was looking for. We have no origin, or
that's because we come from slaves. That was our origin. The African Americans are released, are the ancestors of enslaved people. We
Okay.
can't say we from Africa because that's not us.
Okay. So
Yes, they taught us our origin. Exactly. We were taught nothing that was originated in us. We were taught to be the way we are.
okay. So man, that's tough right there. But I agree with what he's saying though, because and I agree with the statement here too that they taught us our origin. And what I mean by that is this: we were taught that we all came over here on slave ships from Africa during the transatlantic straight slave trade. But history, if you dive into it, tells us that no, long before the Spaniards or whoever, wherever Christopher Columbus was from, long before they even put their asses in a boat and crossed any water, it was already black folks over here with all sort of civilizations going on. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know who said we was African other than the people who been manipulating our mind for the past 500 years. Who the fuck says we African? How we know we didn't come from here to over there? We don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they taught us our origin. We really don't know. Are we the true and first what's the word? Aboriginals to this planet? Regardless of what we've been taught.
The oldest living shit dates back to that, would support that. I mean, the oldest I mean, when you look back on archaeological finds and shit, it would support that. But here's the point. It has to get to some point where we understand, okay, this is our people. This is what we stand for. Okay, these niggas robbed this nigga and killed this nigga in the motherfucking taco waffle chicken and waffle, Roscoe's chicken and waffle or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then took his jewelry and shit. You know what I'm saying? As blacks, we have to be appalled at that behavior. We have to speak out on a grand scale. This is unacceptable to our motherfucking people. We do not accept this.
Right. Well, we have to change. We need to change
how thirsty this dude was.
That's just one avenue. That's just one avenue.
I'm just saying that as an example, just to say, this is how disgusted we have to be with the shit that these fools are doing out here. We don't condone that. That's inhuman. That's barbaric behavior, and it's full of shit.
No,
I agree with you on that, but I disagree about it being blacks having to speak out. We got to understand that either we can have 500 people speaking loudly simply because that's what we're supposed to do, or we could have 50 people speaking loudly from the conviction of their hearts. We got to be okay with it being 50 that really mean the shit.
Nah.
We have to be okay with that.
The reason why I say that is because other people, the majority of people don't see anything wrong with what we just was talking about. A man lost his life. Whoop, whoop. He shouldn't have been flossing in there. He should have dangling thing. All of these excuses on why the killer had a reason to do that, basically, or he put himself in that position. There's all these ways to downplay the occurrence. You get what I'm saying? And the reason why we have to shout from the rooftops as a whole is so a motherfucker can know. Just like it back in them places where they say if you steal, they'll chop off your hand. That's why them niggas ain't stealing.
I hear what you're saying, but when you say as a whole, what I'm saying is the whole might just be 50 people instead of 500. Because if we got 500 people and 450 of them really are silently still thinking the shit you're talking about, I don't even want them near me. I'm better off with the solid 50.
No, I get
have
that.
to be willing to accept that.
But if we're using social media as a tool to enslave the minds of our people, basically, you know what I'm saying? Because you got all these trends and, you know, like this nudity trend, basically. Somehow women think they're going to gain the respect of all men on the planet by taking all their clothes off.
They don't think that. Them people is lost as a motherfucker.
So, somehow they think this is what's going to put them in position.
Them people have the minds of a 12-year-old. That's why they're doing the shit they're doing. Because they're.
I like the comment that says it's all or nothing. Whoever doesn't make the change gets left behind. And I think that sums it up. You know, everybody's not going to make the change. Everybody's not going to see the importance of certain things, especially black on black crime, drug use.
Well, the reason
the things that are the things that are holding us back. I'm saying that there's certain things that are holding us back from making the best thought process, using our best thought process. And if we can't expect that every single black person is going to get it. Everyone's not going to change. But I kind of agree with Valley in the fact that, you know, let's have the ones that want to change. Those are the ones that's going to go. The ones that understand the process, that's who's going to make it. You know what I mean? Because we can't expect that every single person is going to think the same and be like, or get it at the same time. Everybody.
Okay, let me give you another example. Okay, so Cardi B says she was drugging niggas and robbing them, right? Imagine if Rachel Ray was to go on TV and say she was drugging motherfuckers and robbing them. The response from her community versus the response from our community. That's all I'm trying to focus on. Is why are we so acceptable of shit that's dead wrong?
Because what Joshua Hill says, let me visualize it. He says most people still send their kids to schools, which is a curriculum that we did not create, and we are not creating it. They will not create it because they have the control, because we are not putting our foot down on what our kids are to learn.
We also have to look at some of the realities that exist this ain't all communities that are filled with black people, but it's some, and it drives some of the mindset. If you come from a community where you was really in the slums, and as a kid, you watch your dad, your mama, your grandmother, somebody who you love dearly, okay, navigate through the underbelly of society in order to put meat in your refrigerator, food on your table. For you to speak against that sort of lifestyle is almost in the mind of that person is almost a blow against their very heritage. So we got to understand that it's deeper than just somebody saying, "Oh, I like this shit."
You act like I wouldn't know that. I've been to jail. You get what I'm saying? I understand how them people think very well.
Okay, so then there it is there. That's how you should know that it ain't never going to be everybody. It's not going to happen.
It's not, okay. It's
going to be the minority.
You're missing the point. I'm just saying that for our people, everything bad is good. And if that doesn't change, there ain't gonna be no niggas left to fix it. It ain't gonna be enough niggas left to change it to right. You know what I'm saying?
So look, I look at it
how
like
we gonna lose all of our soldiers, then have a race war?
Okay, you're not hearing me. I look at it like this. He says, "How much can you see? Where's your frequency at?" Okay, so for me, I would rather focus on the 1,500 people that's on some upbuilding shit than to give a fuck about the 15,000 that ain't never gonna change. That's a waste of my mental energy. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I would rather focus on something.
If a race war kicks off tomorrow, then what?
It ain't no different than the planet burning up. It ain't. If it's inevitable,
so because we'd rather kill ourselves instead of having some sort of fighting chance.
Oh no. I'm saying there's places where you wouldn't believe the amount of fighting chance that some of these black militia groups is gonna have. That's what I mean. I would rather focus on them than these dirt bags over here who don't even realize what's going on 6 blocks away from them. Their minds are dead. And until their minds come alive, they're opposed to us anyway.
Dude goes to the store, says he hates niggas, and kills 3 black motherfuckers.
And that was awful. I mean, there's nothing we can do about that.
There's more to come.
There's something we can do about that. Stop thinking that we live in some bubble gum and rainbows and gumdrops ass world. and keep a pistol on your motherfucking ass and be ready to blow somebody's teeth to the back of their head if you wind up in that situation. Because if we're willing to go hard on each other, if we willing to go hard on each other,
we understand that when it comes to another nigga. When it comes to another nigga, we got our shit. We ready to blow the shit out this black motherfucker. But Justin Bieber come walking in this motherfucker, we ain't gonna do a damn thing to him.
Hey.
make it a better place. Go on, man. Go on. I'm almost done. Yeah. No, but for real though, I mean,
uncross your arms.
In those situations, I think it comes back down to what we've been saying anyway. I don't know. Your personal safety is your responsibility, and if you don't take that serious, that's on you.
But some of the people, they were just at work. Another one just shopping. You know, one of the guys got killed. He was on his way to his daughter's birthday party. He must have needed to grab something out of Dollar General and got killed. You know what I mean? So if you're saying if he would have had a gun on his possession when he heard they
maybe he didn't need a gun, and maybe he would have died anyway, but he might have saved it. Because I'm telling you, and unless somebody catches me wiping my ass, okay, literally, I seen them coming. And it's your responsibility to be that aware of your surroundings. That's not on nobody else.
Now, hey, look, not like this. Not walking through the store like this.
Yeah.
Not walking through the store like this.
Take it that seriously because we know what kind of world we live in.
Well, and I get what you're saying, and it's good that we're putting that out there so everybody can have a military mind. Like, it could really happen, just that simple. There are racists out there who wake up, build a manifesto, and go out there and shoot.
Hey, if I was a serial killer, I'd have the most victims of all time.
Well, the dude who shot them people in Vegas at a concert, they was just dancing. And he took all of them out. And that was a white man killing white people. So we can't say what it is just that. It's a crazy world right now. And we need to really get check ourselves and put ourselves with people that are going to change the world.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh, but
I forgot what I was going to say. That's why when I cut you guys off, I have to say stuff when it's on my mind, because if I don't, then I won't remember it.
No, but he said, think of the Mayans. If you wasn't on the frequency, off with your head. Laugh out loud. Hey. I happened to read it while you were talking, so I'm so sorry.
Technically, it's like that in America. Technically, it's like treason is punishable by death right here in the United States.
No, but and so he said that's how you maintain control over the frequency as you go as a group, and to get everybody on that type of mindset, like what Valley and Deez are talking about, like be ready, be ready and have a military mind. You got to be able to fight, eat, dance, and kill at any given moment. Stay ready. Only the strong survive. And it's almost sad to me that that's how it is, though. That's really the truth.
Well, that's how it is in nature with the animals. They be all in a pack. And when the predator's coming, they be like, okay, you stay if you want to. Your ass is ate.
Yeah.
So what? Okay. So as blacks, we don't need any leaders at all.
Of course we do.
We should. Yeah.
We don't need any leaders.
Of course we do. But it comes down to what type of shit the leader is on, because a lot of times the leaders come from that underbelly of society that we was talking about. And if you have not got to a point where you're willing to say fuck all of that, you're not a worthy leader. It doesn't matter what attributes you bring to the table. If you're teetering the fence, then you ain't got the right frequency. No matter how much we might love what you're doing and how you're contributing.
But I think that goes against human nature.
Stand up and say, I'm going to lead black people, but this is still Sue Whoop or this is still Crip, then you are a poison and an enemy to progress. Period. I don't give a fuck who you is. That's facts. It can't be disputed. That shit is a cancer that exists amongst the community. And until somebody has gotten to a place where they're willing to admit to that, they're not fit to lead anybody because they haven't even arrived at a place where they can properly lead themselves. You see what I mean? And because of some of the shit you said, the way we gauge somebody's worthiness or value in our community is their record in the streets and their continued willingness to put their life and their freedom on the line in order to entertain or gain the respect of some ghost fucking entity that we call the streets. Somebody on that level is not fit to lead.
All right. Well, and that's why I was saying some of the other things about people not being in their right state of mind. Also, it's hard to try to change a group of people who, if they're out on lean, they're popping Xannies, they're doing, if they're not in their right state of mind, how are they going to receive the information? They're not going to take it serious.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we need to just start covering up our license plates and, while they out on lean, just mow a few niggas down. They all out there, they out there high as shit. They ain't gonna know what happened.
That's fucked up.
Get out the way.
At least take their weapons from them once you do that.
What do you think? What do you guys think fentanyl is? Fentanyl is to rid the world of the addicts. People who can't say no, fentanyl gonna make you say no.
Right. That's true.
That's true.
Just gonna tap your dumb ass out. You're gonna learn to say no, because all you motherfuckers gonna be dead. You keep fucking with that drug.
That is crazy. That's crazy.
Real shit.
And it really has people out here like Night of the Living Dead. Scary. It's freaking scary.
How could you know that it only take, what is it, a pea-sized portion or
a pin the size of a needle head?
Yeah. The portion that it takes to kill you is what is crazy to me. Who even would fuck around? That's just like, hey, let me try to graze my head with this 45 real quick.
That nigga said ignorance is bliss. Being conscious of shit is stressful. He ain't lied about that.
Yeah, no, it is.
And I think that's why so many people be like, fuck it, I don't want to see none of that shit. All I see is what's right here. You know what I'm saying? He ain't lied about that shit. Yeah, I don't know. I trip off of people with that use drugs that they know could possibly dirt nap them. I mean, what in the fuck could you be running from other than death that you're willing to risk death in order to run from this to get high? What are you running from that's that fucking serious?
The scary part about the fentanyl is that they are finding fentanyl even in weed now. So it's like, okay, I understand if,
I win.
I want to smoke a little bit of weed. What is the problem in that? But it's even in the weed now.
Because they don't want nobody. See, that's some governmental, pharmaceutical, higher level type shit for it to be in the weed. Because it's not like the people who sell weed have no there's no advantage for them to kill off all their customers.
Exactly. But you have that's why it's important to check your source. So it's all this. Where did they get it from, and who did they get it from? So you will never really know.
Well, that's probably the cannabis
companies. It's not in their best interest to do it, but I think part of that also has to deal with the fact that they want it legalized now. So now,
well, that's what I'm saying. They're like, let's poison the street dealer shit,
right?
So we can take them out the way because our shit is so expensive in this shop that we actually give life to a street dealer because his shit cheaper than ours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a tactic. It's an agenda and a tactic or some shit like that, Yeah. Because like you said, it wouldn't be to the advantage of anybody who's selling their own shit to be like, fuck it, I'm going to kill everybody who I get money from.
That's crazy.
This nigga come and buy 2 pounds of this shit a motherfucking month, and I'm gonna kill this nigga.
Okay. Look here. 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 The gangbangers are just misguided. They have a purpose in our community as the Spartans warriors that should protect our community. Should a race war pop off or anyone tries to mess with us, if we did that like we did in Alabama, it would hit different.
That is our army because it's a million Bloods and a million Crips, literally. So that's a 2 million man army.
Well, it has
What would make
it has
what's
the
going to make them
potential
link
to
up
be
and
an army.
unified? What's going to make it, because it can only be considered our, because as she said, our community, Spartans and Warriors. The only way that they can become Spartans and Warriors or help our community
is they have to unite.
Unite. So what's going to make them unite? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Apparently, money's the only thing that's important.
And this is why I said what I said. This is why I said what I said. I'd rather have 50 motherfuckers who's serious about firearms knowledge, possession, and training. Okay. I'd rather have 50 motherfuckers who's serious about the building of financial wealth, about teaching our children our own curriculum, about growing our own food. I'd rather have the 50 than to spend my entire mentality trying to convince these other motherfuckers when all they really have is a willingness for violence, a propensity for violence. That doesn't make them skillful or efficient at it. You understand what I'm saying?
We can't afford to leave them behind. So you saying that no time should be invested in trying to change the minds of those type of thinkers?
I look at it like this.
Change their minds.
I look at it like this.
Until the music stops, their minds are going to continue to be brainwashed because that's only type of music our youth wants to listen to is "I'll kill you" music, KKK music. I'm gonna start calling it KKK.
How are we leaving people behind if we're doing something they're not interested in?
That's true.
We're not leaving them behind. They're not cut from the same cloth.
Right. Well, one of the comments out here, Hondo said the gang members ain't never going to show up. We never see gang members at the marches or protest or nothing else. So I guess that coincides with what you said. We're not leaving them behind if they're not willing to take part. But then we have Wound's comment that says that's what Pac was talking about with that 50 niggas tattoo, though. So I mean,
I'd rather have the 50.
Yeah.
Right.
The 50 niggas are going to congregate and they're going to start some shit and get some things going. And then they're going to come through and drop the bomb on them like they did back in the day and kill everybody.
Well, I'll tell you why I have that mindset and not to.
You talking about that shit, Black Wall Street shit?
Yes.
Yeah, that's because those are different times. That's what.
They still can do that.
No, the reason why they ain't gonna still do shit because ain't nobody gonna sit by and let them do that shit. You get what I'm saying?
I don't know what they is or ain't gonna do, but the fear of that is damn sure not gonna stop the move.
Right, but the fear of that, the fear of that has prolonged the movement, don't you think?
Right, I get that, but it is only prolonged the movement of people who never had the sauce to move anyway. Because if you ain't willing to die for what you pushing, guess what? You ain't cut from the same cloth.
Exactly. Right. That's why I go extreme as soon as we start talking like this. Because look, it'll be motherfuckers impaled on sticks, like back in Vlad Dracula, some shit. Motherfuckers hanging from telephone poles and shit. They think they scared the shit out of niggas with what they did to us. I'll recreate that shit.
There's a whole lot of strength in a solid 50, is what I'm saying though.
No, I agree.
It is.
Not to perpetuate the shit that we are speaking against, but when that was the move and we was out there pushing that line in the streets, we never had no immense amount of numbers. We was one of the smallest units in South Sacramento, but because we were all aligned in mind and heart about when it's on, it's on. It don't matter if we're outnumbered by 20 motherfuckers. We going up. I understand completely the power of having a solid unit, regardless of its size.
Right.
No, that's true.
Not
I
just
agree
that,
with you on that.
Not just that. If you look back, it showed us in the Tupac, the saga of Tupac and Asada. It showed us in that documentary. You see how scared niggas was to be Black Panthers, but niggas want to be drug addicts and pimps and gangbangers and everything loser. But niggas was scared to be Black Panthers. They didn't want to go up against that almighty white force.
So do you agree with this comment right here? Hold on. Let me see. We have to offer training. We got to have a place and community that offers it like the Panthers did. That might not take the training, but it has to be made. It has to be made available. And I kind of feel that. I feel it. We should make it available. We have to start somewhere. And I think that the Panthers and what they stood for in the communities, as far as feeding the communities, teaching the communities. She had put a comment up earlier about give a person a book. Let's feed their minds, their souls. Let's give information. There are people who do want to know. The ones that don't want to know, that's one thing. But we should get out there and see who's actually interested in this thought process, in this training, in this development of the community. That's the only way we're going to come up with leaders now. Somebody has to step forward.
I don't know. I just think we're lucky.
I agree with that to a certain extent, but I think how can I say this? Okay, so I agree with only because of where we sit on an overall basis. The leader is not there to eliminate the responsibility of any of the people who are following. You understand what I'm saying? They're literally there to set an example for who you're supposed to be fighting to become. Because I ain't no different than you. I am you. I'm from you. I might be at a different stage so that you see me and something about me is exemplary to you that you want to follow that. But you should only be following that so you can get right to the same level within yourself.
Yes.
That's what I said. Certain people are fit to lead because they ain't even got there within themselves.
Right.
But there's so much daggers being thrown at someone that is, okay, I'm going to start doing this and that. And then the daggers are being thrown showing that, shit that came across my phone the other day. Download the app and it says a whole bunch of girls fighting each other, different scenarios of different girls fighting each other. Or you see fights, and it's always some negative energy that's targeted if they're trying to do something right. That's when the daggers start going at them 100% faster. Okay.
So you say y'all might have seen the commercial. So dude, he pulls up to somebody's door and he says, "Yeah, man, are you such and such on profile on Twitter?" And he says, "Yeah. Well, on this date, you tweeted Garcia staying down after a body blow. That's unacceptable. Did you stand on that?" And he says, "Yeah." And he turns around and calls the boxer over there to come sock this fool in his motherfucking stomach and says, "Now watch your mouth from now on because you stayed down after the body blow." If we ain't willing to get on the helmets of the motherfuckers who's throwing shade at people that are pressing for progress, then we're still a part of the problem.
And I think that's what
that goes all the way back to the beginning of the conversation. Yeah. Black men have to be more than ain't shit. It can't keep being the way it is, because if we ain't accepted, where are these leaders gonna come from? Because it damn sure ain't NBA young boy and little baby. It damn sure ain't motherfucking you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. I get exactly what you're saying. And then I also
for us. Some little ass nigga that can't even fight.
I agree with both of you guys. You both have some valid points, especially when you think about quality versus quantity. The quality of people is going to be more important than the quantity of people. One of the comments that Benet had put up there was that Spartan 300 mentality. The group was small against the hundreds of thousands. And that's true. And that is very, very true.
And as Woon says, the government Let me put my glasses on because I can't see. Somebody else read it because that is the real right there.
Inevitable as soon as a noise is made. So the tactics have to be a spiritual war. And I agree with him on that. And that's kind of what I was saying.
I was going to say that a few minutes ago.
About a certain person being fit to lead. Like, you got to be so tapped in internally. Right. Because it ain't really all that physical shit is just to protect what's internal. You can't come over here with none of that on the physical because we value what's here spiritually. You understand what I'm saying?
That's why it has to look like we ain't that. That's what I meant when I said we have to be screaming from the rooftops that this behavior is unacceptable, because the government can't label us a hate group or a terrorist group if we're speaking on humane terms.
I get that. I understand that, but that's where the importance of the solid number comes into play. Because if the numbers grow too rapidly before a person has an opportunity, or they're given an opportunity to show themselves as true or untrue to the movement, then those will be the people that are used as pawns for infiltration by the government.
That's why it can't be no crooked shit going on.
Right. I'm saying, but that's why the large numbers can be they can be to
deceiving.
The disadvantage.
Yeah. I get it, but that's why we have to understand the gig is up, bruh. We the one colored people in the United States that can't rely on crooked crime and scamming. We the one color of people where white folks, they get to scam and scandal. The consequences ain't the same for them. They get to go out and murder and sell drugs and they get to do all that shit to get ahead. But we can't, because now they blaming us they saying that 13% of the population is responsible for 50% of the crime.
Right? Yeah. I mean, and there might be some truth to that, but I don't know. I think that's
the type of shit make a motherfucker want to go disappear.
But not me, because it just makes me say, well, I need to quit looking over there and figure out what percentage of this 13% of population, what percentage of them is responsible for successful startup businesses? What percentage of them is responsible for the community activist groups in our, it's about, to me, I'm just not looking at that no more. Fuck all of that, because that does not define who I am. That shit don't even fit me.
Away from us. That took Pac away from us. That took this away. Either way, ignoring it or not, it always takes away from us at the end.
We have to be real. And I think sometimes when you being real, you have to be willing to speak a painful truth, even on people who you had a measure of respect for. Respect for Nipsey, respect for Pac. But that's
gang affiliated.
Who I was talking about. Listen to me. Can I finish my thought? That's silently who I was talking about when I said if somebody has not got to a place within themselves that they're willing to say, fuck all that street shit, they're not fit to lead. Because we see the eventuality.
Yeah.
It's no different just because they have more fame and more money. They're still playing in the same game. They're swimming in the same pool.
Right.
It's unfortunate.
And I mean, really, shit, I don't know, man. I think the whole ideology about leadership is something that was taught to us. Who the fuck said we need a leader?
I just said that earlier. I know blacks are against that. Trust me, blacks don't need a leader, but we at the bottom of we at the bottom of society without one. So.
No, I don't think it's that we don't have a leader that has us at the bottom of society. I think it's some of the shit that we've accepted as reality. Some of the narratives that have been painted out, we've accepted them as reality. Some of the shit that has been instilled in us through the trauma that has been experienced over generations, and we know that's carried over because of the findings in epigenetics and all of that. I think some of it goes deeper than just what niggas want to do. It takes some real shadow work to overcome the shit. And that's the number one reason why I say there has to be a complete and utter detachment from that street mentality. You know what I mean? Like, because you can't even get in on the shadow work if you haven't accepted that that is a part of your shadow.
Okay, so blacks comprise 14.2% of the U.S. population, but only 2.3% of all employer firms. Additionally, there are about 3 million black-owned businesses without employees.
You got to run that one more time. I don't think I understood that.
According to Brookings, black comprise 14.2% of the U.S. population, but only own 2.3% of all employer firms. Additionally, there are about 3 million black-owned businesses without employees.
Okay.
So out of 40 million niggas, just to give you a better understanding, out of 40 million niggas, only 3 million is doing business shit.
Okay.
There's more gang, so that means there's more gang members than the businessmen.
Okay, so let me put it into perspective. We walk into we barren, we hungry, we trying to get somewhere. We need to eat for survival. We come into this hypothetical place, and there's 40 million shit sandwiches, and then there's 3 million motherfucking some sort of healthy food. I don't give a fuck about them 40 million shit sandwiches. My focus is on the shit that I can actually consume. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, that's like
I realized it has no worth to me. It's no, I'm not even finna pay that no attention no more.
Every black thinks that is how all blacks have been thinking for the last 50 years.
I disagree with that.
That's exactly how we've been thinking.
I disagree with that. I think
jump in, sis. What were you gonna say?
Shit.
Take the Muslims.
That's exactly how we've been thinking.
Take the Muslims. Elijah Muhammad, he was the leader. Okay, and in that organization, there was those that went against the organization to take people out that weren't complying with what they wanted to comply with. We don't need no leader. We need to, like it says, we need to look inside of ourselves and want more for ourselves. Anyone that takes the initiative to better themselves, somebody's going to see that, and hopefully somebody's going to build from that. That's all we can hope for.
It's been like that for all our lives. As long as we all sitting here have been alive, that's how blacks have thought.
Okay, I'm about to throw a curveball because, and I spoke on this before. I think that the whole race thing, whether it be white, quote unquote, black, whatever you want to call it, I think that's one of the biggest distractions that we've given attention to. And because we've gotten this attachment to it in our hearts, we think that it's ours. But that very title and the mindset surrounding it was something else that was given to us, just like the Bible and the cross and the school system. And it's all been administered. Just because we've taken a liking to it doesn't make it any different. I think really until we can start to see that there's people and that those people have different mindsets, and you link with the people who are like-minded with you, regardless of their race, it's a hamster wheel. Because as long as we're counting on blacks alone to make a difference for the small amount that you just indicated through your numbers, the small amount that are even on the same shit that we're on, it's never going to happen. When the reality is, oh yeah, I'm on the same type of shit that these Mexicans, these whites, these Italians, we all on the same type of shit. And we all represent a small number of all of our racial dynamics. Fuck skin color.
Right.
We have a likeness of mind. You understand what I'm saying?
I like that.
That's the obvious. And that's the only reason why it's 14% niggas alive right now. Because if it wasn't like that, if we wasn't being helped by other races of people, they would have been exterminated our ass. We never would have gotten
I'm not talking about us being helped. I'm saying that we need to be willing to say, me not fucking with all the shit that's part of the so-called culture of black people is okay with me. I'm
It
not
is
finna
okay.
eat slave food. I'm not gonna be with this street shit. I don't give a fuck about a pimp. I'm not enamored by his ability to take insecure women and put them on the street, because this is all the type of shit that niggas glamorize. I'm not with none of that. And if that makes me less black in some ignorant ass niggas' eyes, so be it. I'm cool with that, because that gives me more room to align with the folks who already understand what I'm saying without it having to be explained. That's all I'm getting at. There's some people that just, the circle got smaller, everybody can't go. That applies even to black folks.
Can you guys answer me this question? Oprah Winfrey and Michelle Obama got a thing coming on Netflix coming up, and Michelle Obama's talking about once her and Barack got to this certain level, she only had a certain amount of friends that are still her friends right now, because when it was time to breathe, they couldn't breathe. They couldn't take the air that they were being put and placed into. How do you guys feel about that?
When it was time to breathe, what are you
She
talking
basically was saying that she supported him over all her goals and dreams and shit. That's basically what she was saying.
No, what I was getting at is, how do you
The
feel
friend
about
circle.
the friend circle, and you're gonna leave people behind you that aren't with what you're thinking, and that's what I was trying to say. They were like-minded thinking people, her friends, that had an agenda, which they still have the same agenda, and that is to broaden your horizons and let your light shine and do for others.
I do believe that in order to fly high, sometimes you have to get rid of the shit that weighs you down. And sometimes the sad part of that is people who you've been affiliated with for a long time, people who you may be uncomfortable with, who you so-called grew up and threw up with, all of that. Sometimes they're not going to go, because again, if it's about alignment and aligning with people whose thought process is similar to yours, then once you change the way that you're thinking, they are no longer going to be aligned with that thought process. They may still be stuck on the level of where they're at.
I just know one thing is for sure, and and this is researchable fact about how race was separated not by nationality, but by actual skin color, by a particular individual in history whose goal was to divide people to make it easier for them to do their conquering. Okay, so the reality is, and whoever hears this can get ass sore if they want, blackness was given to you by the massa. That's the end of the discussion. Your blackness was given to you. The whole ideology.
It doesn't make me feel any type of way, because truthfully, what blackness stands for in my lifetime, I'm not impressed.
Right, but so then it's, you guys are saying the same thing in a different way then, because he basically, that's what he's saying, is that the blackness that we were taught to live by was what was given to us by slave owners when they were on the plantation. They created what our idea
of division.
Right.
Yeah. Fuck, I look like clinging to that. Well, Massa said I can only congregate and cultivate with people who look like me. I don't want no troubles with Massa. I can congregate and cultivate with whoever the fuck I want. Why I'm listening to him? If I'm so free, fuck, I'm still listening to him about anything, including whether or not I cling only to black people.
Not a good idea.
Yeah.
If I was to move, if I could pick anywhere to be in the United States, and it wouldn't be in nobody's, it wouldn't be in a high percentage of blacks like that, because you got to have those numbers balance out, because, you know, just being on a different level, you know, you can't have nothing nice, you know. Motherfuckers gonna be trying to kick in your door and rob you and kill you. And
I don't agree with that. I think that's more aligned to people that come from certain demographics, not just because they're black. I completely disagree with that. It's about
But
where
if
you're
you're
from.
if you go to a black community and you're in an interracial relationship, they're gonna come after you, guaranteed.
That's possible, but I mean, the same thing can happen in the white community.
It's more
But not the
likely to
same.
happen in a white.
It's not the same though. The niggas is because niggas go harder on niggas than white people go on niggas. You know what I'm saying? So I got more fear of a black motherfucker because I know he has nothing. He's not scared of me like he's scared of Justin Bieber. He's gonna really fuck me up.
But that I disagree.
Okay,
I
but-
disagree to a certain extent because I have had the luxury of living in black communities where everybody's house was big. They all went to work. It was there wasn't that type of thought process. It wasn't that dog eat dog. So I agree. It's where it depends where you living at. Because if you're living all in the hood,
But you missed the main key. You missed the main
saying-
key.
no, I'm
Bring
saying
the white boy over there with you then, and then tell me it work out the same. You missed the main part. Interracial relationship was the main part.
no, but there were some black men or white. I mean, black or white. They lived together. But majority of the community still was black families. But there were some interracial couples that were in those communities, and I don't think
it's just less. You don't see it as often as you see it on this side of the country, on this coast, but it still exists.
Yeah.
But to his point, it is still somewhat looked upon unfavorably by both blacks and white people.
Right.
Well,
and I feel. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
In Louisiana, in down there in the trenches where it's gutter, you have people that have been living in that same community for years and years and years, and they consider that hell. But people who have money still live amongst all them people. It's about having a community, knowing who your neighbor is and knowing who their family is. It's about congregating and forming a bond. And those people, this like the old restaurant that everybody goes to, whether they're drug dealers, whether it's senators, whether it's politicians, they all come to this restaurant because this lady's been here for years and she's dead smack in the ghetto, and no one never gets hurt there. Drug dealers could be in the same building with police, and because they got respect for this lady and that part of the community is what I'm trying to say. We have to start having respect for each other and for ourselves. And people don't have respect for each other and for nobody else, or for let alone themselves.
You said it though. That's what I was about to say. You said it. You can't respect somebody else if you don't properly respect yourself. It's never going to happen. And I think that's the problem with people in general, and which goes back to what I was saying about this. There's a lot of shit that's put out in the world, or the system that we live in, for the purpose of distraction. And racial division is probably the biggest, and it has proven to be the most effective distraction that we're faced with. And so once we recognize that, I mean, it's kind of up to us to say, hey, man, I respect myself enough to not be on some borderline retarded shit and think that I'm better than this person because their skin look different than mine.
And then another thing is,
but I understand all that though. That's what I'm saying. I don't have those setbacks. It's just, or else I wouldn't even be in the situation I'm in. You get what I'm saying?
I know. I'm just talking about.
I've been past that way of looking at shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that as you see your people, they so clinging on, like you said, to this blackness, and this is supposed to be the most important thing in our lives, and black means this and black means that. Yet niggas is killing niggas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
What?
black women hate black men, and black men hate black women.
Mm-hmm.
And you get what I'm saying? How is this our strength? What's really going on here? We can't uplift each other. Look, let's just make a deal. Hey, look, black women. Tomorrow, I'm gonna say I love black women and I respect black women to the utmost. But you need to work on a few things. Hey, black women, tell black men that you're gonna love black men and you're gonna hold black men to a high standard, but we got to change a few things and be a little bit better, do a little bit better as men. You know what I'm saying? Don't sit up here and tell us we ain't shit, and we shouldn't be telling you ain't shit.
Right. Well, the comment that was up there was good. We are afraid of each other by design, and it has been, it's implemented that they want that for us to be afraid to come amongst each other or to unite.
I mean, you gotta be afraid of a nigga that's gonna kill you over your shoes, or
right,
you gotta be afraid of a nigga
but there is also a white man that might just kill me because of my color, so we can't afford to be afraid.
Like Tavon said, I'm gonna see that nigga coming though.
Huh?
I think what I'm saying is I agree with her, but I think for a different reason. It don't matter if it's a spider, a dog running up on me, a nigga coming to kill me. That fear that you invoke is going to be so momentary before it turns into ferocious aggression. You would do well not to scare me, motherfucker. I'm not going to cower down out of the fear. Do you understand what I'm saying? That I think that's the difference. It's not about having a fear of people. It's about, look,
I'm the exact opposite. I'm more scared of me than anybody.
Right. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so, right, we shouldn't have to be afraid of each other. And I do get that. And she was saying how we need a tribe mentality for community, not just polygamy. And I think that's a hell of a point. Because, again, let a nigga talk about getting together on some shit with his peoples for the purpose of him being the leader of a polygamous family. Suddenly he got his marbles together.
Or let me try to round up some niggas to start a gang, or round up some niggas to rob a bank, or round up. I ain't gonna have no problem recruiting niggas. Hey, you wanna go sell drugs? Oh, damn, I got 150 niggas behind me. Hey man, you wanna do something right, man, and start this LLC? One nigga.
And you got to take that one. I guess that's the moral.
Yeah, because he means more than the other 10 that are half-hearted, So yeah. And I guess that's the way we gonna deal with Mother Nature. Look, I think I done realized that we just got to be on some controversial shit, because somehow it always gets to that. We need to just stick to the script.
I don't know whose idea was to talk about.
That was the thing. We were talking about Mother Nature. We did have a lot to offer, but it was very short-lived, and it always going to come back full circle on the issues that really are at the core of us.
Right.
Well,
we got to talk about rainforest. We got to talk about rainforest and governments and then people bottom feeding and looking at it. It got out of hand.
That's how it goes. It's all good because
hey, she said greatest show, guys, greatest show.
Oh shit!
As everybody knows that's following, we're developing as we grow. Each show we sit on here, we try to have a tunnel vision, but at the same time, we respect that we're going to allow it to flow wherever it's supposed to go and do what.
Because you're crazy.
Maybe the topic of the next show should just be free debate, man. That way to just kind of give us a chance to get some of our most pressing issues out there, and be able to talk freely, whatever kind of comes to mind. That way everybody can kind of be passionate about what they're talking about.
And also we need, if you watched our show or you are into our show, you can always put something out there that you might want us to talk about, or something that you're passionate about.
Yeah, we're open to suggestions. I think we made that clear before.
Right.
That's why I appreciate everybody who happens to tap in.
Yeah, thank you for everybody.
Yes, and thank you for continuing to tap in.
Right.
Y'all
we do have
so good.
Yeah, a group of people who always have something to say, and they provide good commentary for us. So I love it. Thank you, guys.
Mm-hmm. And we're a little special bunch right here. This four right here.
I think they love our specialness. Though. I mean, there's a couple on here to be in the comments, I think they special right along with us because they
Oh,
come,
for sure.
they come
Oh,
ready.
for sure.
Well, I know I'm extremely hard to stomach because I'm loony as fuck. But I mean, it is what it is. I'm also rational about a lot of shit too, though.
I think that's what provides us
And
balance.
it ain't
With
nothing
four
wrong with that.
quarters. It's
It
four
ain't nothing
quarters
wrong with
for a
that.
reason.
I
think
it's I have a purpose. Like I feel like, you know, I wouldn't mind, you know what I'm saying, making some changes and being part of something or doing shit differently or providing for my community and helping like Nipsey did. But at the same time, I want to kill George Zimmerman. At the same time, I want to, you know what I'm saying?
And there we have it, folks. In case you guys
Just a friendly reminder to our viewers that we'll be tapping in on the first and third Sunday of every month from now on. So you can catch us on the first and the third.
We just every other week.
That's the first and the third.
Not necessarily.
It's every other week, sis. Just leave it at that. Hey,
Sunday
I
and the
think she
third
has a
Sunday,
good point. She has a good point.
She's saying the first
It's
Sunday.
it'll be 2 weeks from now and then 2 weeks from then. That
Right.
may or may not be the first or third Sunday of the month, is all I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Every 2
Very
weeks.
few months have 5 weeks in them.
Fire, water, wind, and earth.
Okay, so who's fire?
I think I'm the earth. I think I'm the earth. If I have to be, because although I'm a water
I gotta take wind because if you ask me, I'm cool as a motherfucker, man.
I'm definitely fire.
We know Jabaz's the fire, so we already know Jabaz's the fire. We got that part. But
So what, I'm water?
I would say I'm a water sign, but I don't know that I'm water. But it's fire.
And I'm the earth sign.
Here and Tavon,
Yeah, you would be closer to Earth, Saab. You probably the most chill one of all of them.
What?
Okay.
No, just God
Oh. Look, even your eyeballs count, man. You I'm gonna be like,
I am pretty chill though.
Hey,
Hey,
I'm not
Valley
talking about
is the
whole
win.
life. I'm talking
Valley
about where
is
we
the
at
win.
now. When I say
She's the
she's
win
the most
because-
chill of us, I'm talking about now.
No, listen, I said Valley's the win because whenever some shit's going smooth, here he comes. One of his comments, here he comes. No, I have to disagree with that.
And Maisha's the water because she definitely drowning motherfuckers.
oh shit.
Get y'all.
Oh,
And I still stand alone. Like we had a comment when you guys pissed me off earlier, and the girl said, what she say, Jennifer,
something about you being unbothered or some shit like that.
Yeah. She said she's not giving a fuck about what you guys are saying. Where'd she say?
We always get a good amount of comments, man. But
mad comments in this motherfucker because I don't even. Oh, there you go. There you go. Yes, I like her. 0 fucks given.
Nobody was tripping. Look.
When she was eating ice cream sandwiches.
And that's the show, everyone. Thank you so much.
Hold on, we're gonna put that back up there to end the show.
That was the shit. Because when did you come up with that one? Cop washers. Oh my God. Only you, Diesel.
But again, thanks for tapping in, everybody. And if you haven't already done it, like, share, and subscribe so you can be a part of the upcoming show. We'll see y'all in 14 days. Same
yes, indeed.
time, same place.
Deuces.
Peace.
Ooh.